Father of Douglas?
Indeed. In fact, for those who are World War II buffs, thank you for being old enough that you got that. I've been trying to say, and I'm trying to say, and he was the father of another famous MacArthur, Douglas. And the class is like,
Who?
That's sad.
yeah, people of the Philippines. I shall return.
Well, they would say, you don't really have to.
Yeah, you see, there's the family history in the Philippines. There it is. But of course, apparently, if you did not see it in Private Ryan, it does not exist. Okay, I get that. Okay, but we'll try and squeeze in as much history as we can. I know that we got a lot of corrective stuff to try and fix. But anyway,
John Wayne and back to the cat.
Yes, all entertainment. So, anyway, so the point is that, so that's one part of the Philippines story. The other thing is that, again, people were against the Philippines becoming a new state. And this is a problem. Well, why are they against it being a new state? Well, it depends on who you talk to. Of course, what might be some of the main reasons people didn't want the Philippines? I mean, the distance is cute, but let's face it, if we can get shit, we're kind of happy with it no matter how far away it is.
The indigenous population.
Ah, yes. Okay, remember how we said that there's one of the things that's very sad about this period, as I said, if you go back far enough, there's somebody in your background that some relative of yours that was apparently going to destroy America by being an American. Okay, doesn't matter if you're Irish or Italian or Jewish or whatever, or Catholic or you name a Mason. Okay, you were going to destroy America by your affiliation of ethnicity, religious group, social club, whatever it was. Well, at this period, we are very anti-Asian. We figure that Asians are the evil, to use a term from the internet. And so Asians are just evil, and we can't deal with it. And in fact, we're going to be so mad. We say we're going to get to where we decide that we can't have Asians come into the country anymore because they're destroying our country. We're going to try and segregate our schools because Asians, as you all know, do so poorly in school and drag the average down. That was meant to be funny. Never mind. Okay, but the point is that people have these crazy racist notions, very unpleasant. And so the idea of adding a very large Asian population, people like Andrew Carnegie were very racist about the idea of adding this Asian population. Or as the term was used at the time, yellow, which again, I don't understand. I have never seen a yellow human being, okay?
The yellow pearl.
Yes, as we'll talk about it. Why did it say yellow? Now, again, as we said, apparently we now have orange human beings, but I don't think that's natural. As I said, Jersey Shore.
For Indians, we call them red.
Yeah, red. I mean, and I've never seen anyone who's red. Same thing. We talk about people being called maroon as part black, part white, and I have never seen anybody who's burnt umber. What are you? I am sienna. Magenta. Oh well, Anyway, no, sorry. Sorry. Say magenta. I start time warping. It's very sad.
Majenta.
No! Oh, stop. Okay. Anyway, no pelvic thrust for YouTube. Yes.
So wait, what about Majenta?
Don't start. You're just evil. Anyway, so just wait till you go get your test question. Magenta. All right. So, anyway, the point of the story, if there was one, which apparently we have lost entirely. Here all male says, they're all racist and all that, and suddenly we're time warping. Okay. But the point is that there are people that there's also, not just that, Mark Twain was against it, Samuel Langhorne Clemens, because as America's #1 sarcastic ass, which was his job, that's like a pin he had, okay? He was against imperialism in general, the idea of taking other people's toys, rude, okay? He felt that was unkind. Samuel Gompers was against it. Who was Gompers again?
Head of the AFL.
Head of the AFL, why would he be against it?
Competition.
Cheap labor. Okay, here it is. The labor is just beginning to make those small gains, and the idea of all this cheap labor flooding in from the islands. That's horrible. And so people, and William Jennings Bryan, our cross of gold guy from the Democratic Party, sees an opening. He's a senator at this point, and he sees, you know what? Maybe here's what I can do. I will run in 1900, and again a rematch against McKinley. But this time, instead of running gold versus silver, he's going to run anti-imperialism versus imperialism. If so many different people can be against adding this as a state against imperialism, he figures that could build him a coalition that gets Democrats into the office in 1900. The Republicans realize that they're going to need to own imperialism, okay? That since they were the ones who oversaw the Spanish-American War, they're going to need to internalize it. So much so that McKinley boots his vice president and actually puts a new vice president on the ticket, the kid who is the poster child of the Spanish-American War, who is Teddy Roosevelt, okay? Now again, a number of the Republicans are a little nervous about Roosevelt. He's considered a wild card and all that. They're going to hear, oh, we'll make him vice president, we'll bury him, and we won't hear from him again, okay? That proved to also, again, be a bad choice, but whatever. Not for us, but I mean for those who didn't like him. And so as a result, that's there. Well, if the election of 1900 was a referendum on imperialism, then we were pro. Okay, and indeed McKinley walks away with the election, a lot due to the charisma and campaigning of Teddy Roosevelt, who is very much out there and very successful in being able to drum up the vote. So we end up being there. We also solved the problem of the Philippines, like, what do you do about a problem like Maria, right? In this case, the problem of the Philippines, how do we fix that? We say, okay, well, there's this thing that we did with the Indians and with other places where we don't really want to make them state or citizens, but we do want to have the resources, so what do? We make it a territory, okay? And what is a territory after all?
Nothing much.
Well, no, what is a territory?
Piece of land that is claimed by a country but not admitted into.
Okay, what do we call that in other countries? What other countries call that? Colonies, okay? Because what's the difference between a territory and a colony? 8 points in Scrabble, okay? That's it, but we in America are a little twitchy about the word colony for some reason. Because if we said, oh yes, these colonies who have less rights and what was that about colonies a while ago in these 13? Yeah, so we don't like to call them colonies, we call them territories, but they're the same thing, they're colonies. We just don't like to call them that because it makes us twitchy, okay? It's like somebody has some vestigial historical memory that would be bad, okay? And ironically, here's the thing, from the late 19th, early 20th century, well, by the way, we will end up making Alaska a territory, Hawaii is going to become a territory, Puerto Rico is a territory, and the Philippines will be a territory. Of those, the Philippines, of course, will eventually become independent. Yeah.
Will Panama also be a territory?
But that's later.
Okay.
Okay.
What would be if Puerto Rico was made a territory in 1917? What was their status in the intervening years?
Dubious. Yeah, it's again, it's more like conquered territory, but not.
Then have a governor of some sort or military governor?
I honestly don't know. I assume that we still had occupying forces in there, which is the thing. But let's face it, and actually here's the irony. So of these things, obviously Hawaii and Alaska are going to become states. But there's an interesting parallel here. Puerto Rico, as you all know, is one of our last of our territories that we still have, right? No, there's this, Puerto Rico is ours, kind of. Did you all know that? Yes. Okay. And there's something and there's something very interesting. How many people here have been to? Anybody been to Puerto Rico? Okay, cool. Anybody been to Hawaii? Okay. Well, you've been all over, haven't you? He gets around. No. Terrible. I'm sorry. No, I'm not really sorry. Okay. But the thing is, if you've been to Hawaii, anybody who's been to Hawaii know anything about Hawaiian politics? Anybody been to? Okay.
It has to do with pineapples?
No.
Coconut?
Sugar. No, I think
Okay. Well, actually, and this is something that, again, I've not been to Hawaii. I only learned because I have some friends who are Hawaiian and two who are not Hawaiian natives, but who also lived in Hawaii for a period of time. There is actually a very large movement in Hawaii to remove themselves from the United States and become independent. And it is a perennial movement. It never garners more than like 30 or 40% of the vote. But it's a serious. It's not like three guys in grass skirts going us, because Alaska has a very nascent one. Sarah Palin's husband had been part of that Alaskan separatist movement, but that's very fringe in Alaska, But over in Hawaii, this is a mainstream movement. People write papers about it. It's put on the referendum and all this, and so Hawaii